Now let's get to the Dolphins. To have the worst record in the NFL, plus 700. Their win total at 5.5 seems high. It's heavily juiced to the under 5.5, minus 150. Division 16-1, conference 60-1, and in my book, Super Bowl 125-1. Christian Wilkins could be a nice bright spot. Defensive Rookie of the Year, plus 3,300. The question is, how bad will they be? And I'm very interested to hear both of your takes. I like Brian Flores. He has his work cut out for him. Never been a head coach before. You have Josh Rosen, Ryan Fitzpatrick. You know, Rosen goes 2,278 yards, 11 TDs, 14 interceptions, and that was with Larry Fitzgerald. In Miami, of Devontae Parker, hopefully Albert Wilson. Does Kenyon Drake step up? Wilkins is a beast. They do have a strong secondary. I've seen some outlets say they're going to win 3 games this year max. I mean, how bad is this team, Donnie?
Yeah, you know what the problem is here is when you're trying to break it down, you say, I mean, you see these numbers, 125-1, 150-1. Hey, why don't you throw a flyer down where there's a lot of obstacles that you have to get over, especially with the Miami Dolphins. This is a complete teardown. This is a brand new regime coming to town. They're looking to see who wants to play football moving forward here, and that's going to be a problem for the Miami Dolphins. Look, we already know Miami's a tough pro sports town that if you don't win and win at the highest level, i.e. like the Miami Hurricanes, the Miami Heat, nobody's going to come out to watch you there. We've seen it twice in Major League Baseball alone with the Marlins. World Championship teams, they don't draw flies the next year because they sell the team off and, you know, everybody can go out to the beach and have a little bit of fun. The problem with this team right now is when you're betting into a team and saying, you know what, the team total is only 5. This is a bridge team. What I call a bridge team is you're seeing yourself saying, all right, well, we got Fitzpatrick. We didn't know we were going to get Rosen as a steal, but Rosen is your future. I know I tweeted out a few times already saying if Brian Flores even thinks that he's going to start Fitzpatrick with the old, he's a veteran, he knows what he's doing, he's going to be able to lead these men out to the field, he should be fired before they even get to the first snap of the football season. Your only goal this year for the Miami Dolphins is to see if Josh Rosen is actually your future quarterback, because if not, you're probably drafting number 1 overall next year. And let's say Fitzpatrick does come out. Hey, he's going to start the season for us. Good luck at this start. Baltimore, New England, Dallas, and the Chargers right out of the gate. So when you're staring at 0-4, can Brian Flores go, well, Fitzpatrick's played really well, he's going to keep us moving forward? No. You got to get the Rosen. You got to play it out. And for a team that's not worried about winning on the field this year, it's hard to back them, Jimmy.
So hard to back them. So hard. Well, Capper, how bad will the Dolphins be this year?
I think 3 wins is about right, actually. You said you read that 3 wins is what people are predicting. As I look down their schedule, that's kind of where I land. 2 wins is possible. 4 wins is possible. 5 wins is not really plausible, in my opinion. The reports you read out of minicamp, Ryan Fitzpatrick is beating out Josh Rosen in the drills they're doing and in the practices. Like, that's bad, man. And I know you got Rosen for a song, but, you know, you look at their quarterback situation, and I don't see how they do anything other than position themselves to take a top pick next year. Presumably they're going to be fighting with the likes of the Raiders and the Bengals for that number 1 overall pick next year, because all 3, I think, are going to be in the market for getting a quarterback. And if the Bengals are doing poorly, if the Raiders are doing poorly, the Dolphins are going to be incentivized to do poorly. So it's, you know, when I think of how I'm going to approach this team in general this year, and I look at, okay, well, let's talk about some of the positives. They have some nice pieces on defense, especially in the coverage parts of their defense. Their backfield has a couple of players who I think are legit NFL talents. So there's a framework there to effectively, you know, be a thorn in the side of some of the teams that you may expect to come in and just roll over them. To that degree, I think that sets up for this team to probably be an under team. Not under in terms of regular season win totals, but week in, week out, you might see totals in the 47, 48 range because people are like, oh, they're so bad. But in reality, the defense, you know, comes up and surprises every week and, you know, limits the other team to fewer passing yards, fewer points than you would have expected otherwise. So I think that's probably how I'm going to approach most of the Dolphins games that I bet on. If I bet on many, I'll probably be on the under.
Yeah, you know, breaking this down, I feel like the over with the Bills and the under with the Dolphins is so good. The problem is it's so juiced, and I would have to bet a lot of money to get that money back. And then you run the risk of injuries derailing you 2 or 3 weeks into the year. And if you go 1-1, it's a lose. So it's a tricky dynamic, but they sure seem like easy spots. Donnie, what's your summing up of this division here, AFC East?
Yeah, we're almost ready to turn the page on the AFC East. I mean, it's close. I think you're maybe 1 year out because, look, as well as, avocado ice cream that Tom Brady eats and how well he keeps himself in shape, sooner or later it's going to catch up to you because you even see him in the pocket now. Have you ever looked at Tom Brady's legs? Not when he runs, but just look. He is taped up like he's Godzilla back there just to keep him upright. One fail swoop that comes in, knocks him off, a hamstring injury, a knee injury for Tom Brady, and the whole house of cards comes down. But keeping an eye on this division, I think the Jets are the next team moving up there. But having said that, you just talked about earlier, Jimmy, the Miami Dolphins, even though it is juiced, you have to get 6 wins out of the Dolphins to lose that under. Give me that all day long.